This is the guide for Dr. Cassandra. She asked for the recipe for the Haitian Lanilla, and the recipe is kind of complicated to write down, but it's pretty simple when you show it in video. So for your own patrons, please don't change the name. You could I know Lanilla is a weird word, but at least keep the Haitian in there, because part of the goal of this project is to try to drive tourism to Haiti, because they're a developing nation and they're still recovering from the earthquake and from a lot of other problems they've had, and they are economically disadvantaged. They need tourism there, and honestly, it's an awesome place to be a tourist. So I haven't been able to afford to go there yet, but I hope to soon, because I like Haitian people, I like Haitian food, and I like Haitian music. And I'm told that maybe the reason the original Lanilla was a portmanteau of lime and vanilla, but the Haitian Lanilla doesn't actually have any vanilla in it. So I am told that the original version was non-alcoholic and it had vanilla extract in it. And they would blend up an entire one of these, or 2 or 3 of those, in a blender. Or before they had blenders, I guess they would just chop it up with a machete or a knife or something. And they would put the peels in with all the sugar and the vanilla extract. It made a really nice Lanilla. So I think that's where the word comes from. But this doesn't have any vanilla extract in it. I don't think most bars would not allow you to use vanilla extract anyway. I think under some state laws you probably can't even do it. So as far as I've never seen this drink made with actual vanilla. Okay, so like many of these Haitian drinks, there's a non-alcoholic version and there's an alcoholic version. So I'm going to make both with this video. They're actually really comparable up to the end. So, all right, here we go. We have Uncle Donnie's toasted oranges, but these, we're not going to use those until later. All right, so this is the one that I mostly use, this Warritos Lime. It's not so easy to find in some places, but if you can find it, it's the best. If you can't find it, you could use like 7-Up and something like that. But you can always, some people do 7-Up and then they add a little bit of lime juice. So you could do that, but I like this kind. I think it tastes better. If you can find it, it's very, very much worthwhile to use. Okay, so you take a bottle of that. Let's move the Haitian Lanilla sign. Okay, get your martini shaker ready. Pour your crushed ice in there. Okay. Pour an entire bottle. Of your Warritos. Okay. When you shake this up, oh wait, I forgot. It's not a Haitian Lanilla. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, if you're using 7-Up or some other non-Warritos lime, go with a lime when you put your citrus in. But if you have the actual Warritos lime, go with an orange, a little mandarin orange, and slice it up. So that even goes to Warrito, like pineapple or orange. If you have any flavor other than lime, even if you have the plain Mineragua, go with the lime. But if you have the actual Warritos lime, go with the orange. It's better. So try to slice it really thin. Throw away the end part. You don't want that little thing getting in there. Okay, slice it kind of thin. All right, I'm just gonna put it in there move it in there with a knife so I don't have to touch it. Okay, so we have our rice, all of our stuff in there. Give it a few good shakes. You gotta try to get that orange piece out of there. Okay, there we go. All right, I have to get some glasses. Okay, so if you're making the alcoholic version and the non-alcoholic version at the same time, you should definitely differentiate the glasses. So I use the one with bubbles for my alcoholic version and the plain one for my non-alcoholic version. It doesn't really matter, but the issue today in a lot of bars is there's a lot of recovering alcoholics that still rely on the bar for their social network, and that's cool. So if somebody doesn't drink, you got to be really careful not to accidentally give them some alcohol. So I think it's really important to do that. Is just For non-alcoholic drinks, you got to use a different glass. A lot of bar owners require it, but I even do it when I'm at home. Okay, so we'll make two versions. We're going to make the alcohol version and the non-alcohol version. Yeah, so it's okay. You can get a little bit of ice in. You don't want to get in too much. That's already a little bit too much. Okay. Right. And for the alcohol version, I actually did this video a few minutes ago, and I used gin, which was fine. It was delicious. And I said, oh, I generally like the tequila one just as much. So that video, unfortunately, didn't record. So I'm going to make this one with tequila. And I will be completely honest and say which one I think tastes better. I don't use a lot of tequila when I make these. I mean, if you're in a bar, obviously you have to use a full ounce, but for myself, I use like, a quarter ounce is enough. Okay. The non-alcoholic version, obviously you don't want to add any of that, but that has some differences in the recipe. Okay, with the non-alcoholic version, take a little sprig of mint, shove it in there. You need it because when you put in tequila and gin, you get all those beautiful botanicals. And for the non-alcoholic version, you have to get some botanicals in there. So the mint is a really great way to do that. And let's see here. Add your seltzer. So here's the seltzer in the non-alcoholic version. Here's the seltzer in the alcoholic version. It's a little too high. Okay. So for the non-alcoholic version, this is kind of key. I'll explain why in a minute. You have to serve it with something that has citrus peel. So I use these Uncle Donnie's. I have brought for comparison. This is a fresh orange. Okay, I just cut that. This is an Uncle Donnie's toasted orange. You can see it's dry. So it's almost like a cracker, but it's kind of like a juicy cracker. So Uncle Donnie's, but the point about these is the peel. The juiciness in the orange kind of makes the bitterness in the peel a little more palatable, but you need something with a little bit of bitters in there. So if you give somebody a non-alcoholic beverage, your bar has just saved money on not having to put alcohol in it, and you're probably going to charge them full price for it. So just invest in some Uncle Donnie's, please. I mean, they deserve it. They paid for a drink with alcohol that doesn't have any alcohol in it. So if you include these with their non-alcoholic drink, it really, really makes it taste better. As for the alcohol version, oh, holy crap. That is so freaking good. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to be totally honest here, okay? With both of these, I know there's a lot of brands of tequila. I know there's a lot of brands of gin. I'm well aware of that. I get it. There is no question this one wins. Tequila. And it doesn't have to be that brand, but silver tequila is so much more delicious with this drink than gin. It's just not even a comparison. This version with the tequila is just so good. Officially, the Haitian Lanilla is the non-alcoholic version. So if you include vodka with it, it's still a Haitian Lanilla. If you do tequila, it's still a Haitian Lanilla. The Haitian Lanilla is this one. All right? So if you're not into alcohol, you're actually getting the real Haitian Lanilla when you get the alcohol-free version. But please remember to include the Uncle Donnie's. It makes a big difference. All right, I'm going to try the non-alcohol version. That's really good. My son says it's kind of like Mountain Dew without the bite. I think I'd describe that as an adult's version of Mountain Dew. And then, of course, there's these guys. Freaking awesome. Those are, the point of those is because the original Haitian Lanilla is made with whole limes. So you have the bitterness from the lime. You really don't need that when you put the alcohol in it, because you have the bitterness from the alcohol. You have all that complexity the alcohol has, all that beautiful, incredible, wondrous complexity. And so you bring in some of that complexity by using citrus peels. If your bar doesn't really want to buy spring for the Uncle Donnies, maybe you could talk to your bar owner about grating some lime zest in there. I don't know what it'll do to the taste. I've never tried it that way. When I was younger, we just used to eat plain sliced oranges with the peel. We get those kumquats, the little tiny oranges, and you eat those with the peel. But these are amazing. This combination is just incredible. So I'm not going to say it's a virgin Haitian Lanilla. The Haitian Lanilla is the virgin version. Okay, but the non-alcoholic version with some Uncle Donnie's toasted oranges, or my favorite version, the Haitian Lanilla with tequila. Wow, that is the stuff. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Oh, again, steer tourists towards Haiti. They need the business. Talk to the owner of your bar about including genuine Uncle Donnie's toasted oranges. And help keep cyclists safe. So this is if you guys could do this, if you know anybody who rides a bike or anybody who's out night clubbing and you don't want them to get hit by a car, this is a great way to stay safe. It's a little plastic box. It goes on the front of your bike, or you can even wear it over your shoulder. It has a little LED light inside that turns on and off. You get to choose all aspects. You get to choose the color of the bungee. You get to choose the type of the ring, the grommets, the strap. There's all different kinds of versions. You can change the graphics on it if you want. Just go to this website, swarmcase.com. That's swarmcase.com. But this is a great way for the cyclists in your life to stay safe. You can put anything you want inside. Put your cell phone. You can even use the light from your cell phone to light it up. You can put your paperback book, sandwich, can of beer, pack of smokes, bike tools, snake bite kit, whatever you need. Okay, thanks very much. Again, that's swarmcase.com. And I almost grabbed the non-alcoholic version. That was close. Cheers.